Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Well, thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by our radio executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
Here I am in the flesh. Excited to be here.
We are. Well, our senior fellow is kind of behind a wall and kind of watching because we have an in-studio guest.
We do.
Yes, we'll mention her in just a moment. And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Thank you for joining us, sir.
I'm on the flesh, too.
Are you? That's good.
Well, you know, as long as we've been doing the program, we always try to give some history as to why people should really pay attention to what Dr. Bonati has to say, and that's because he changed spine surgery forever. Before he developed his methods and instrumentation that are patented, called the Bonati spine procedures, there was only invasive open spine surgery. And let's not confuse the Bonati spine procedures just with any other minimally invasive procedure that's on the market. They are worlds apart.
As we like to say, often imitated, never replicated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, well, his procedures are why he succeeds where others have failed. It was his innovation and forethought and thinking outside the typical textbook teachings which led him to develop his procedures. And we've done a recent 7.5-year study, and a satisfaction rate from the patients has been 98.75%. That's astounding.
I can't think of a single occupation or line of business where there's that sort of satisfaction.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Even top of the line hotels, you look at their online reviews, and the best of the best might be 4.5 stars.
Right.
You know, and Dr. Bonati and what he does and the innovations that he's come up with, he is near perfect.
As pretty perfect as
As
you can
close
get.
as you can
and
get.
he doesn't just go with the easy cases. He takes on cases where people have had multiple invasive failed surgeries, and he's able to get them back in motion and help them regain their strength. With that said, on the show, we're excited. We have president of Kangaroo, Stacy Zorn. She helped develop an electric car for the wheelchair bound. So that should be exciting.
It's really cool, too,
Yes.
and it was one of these things that we kind of stumbled across online where, you know, and we'll get into more depth, of course, but
Right.
it really, if you or someone you know is paralyzed or in a wheelchair, you're really going to want to hear about the Kangaroo. It's it's a game changer for people in wheelchairs.
I think so. And then we have Dr. Jack Cassell, rather.
Yes.
And he's a Florida urologist who doesn't accept Obamacare at his practice. And in fact, he had posted a sign for those that voted for Obama, they can go find a different urologist. So that should be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, he did all the the Fox and Friends and
Right.
all the big headline, Anderson Cooper, all those, because everybody was kind of giving him guff for
Yes.
basically telling.
I think he has guts.
Absolutely,
Call it
absolutely.
like you see it.
I think Doc's going to like this guy. Yeah.
And then we'll hear what's new in American medicine today. But up first,
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
well, we are excited. We have Brittany Morgan. She has had surgeries with the Bonati Spine Institute and a patient of Dr. Bonati's in studio joining us. So thank you for sharing your story with us, Brittany.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, you're here in Florida locally, but you actually reside in New York City, correct?
Yes, I live in New York City, just home for a little bit, just got off a contract. So
Ah, all right. And what is it that you do?
I am a professional dancer.
Ah,
Wow. Do you do Broadway or?
Not yet. That's the ultimate goal.
That's the goal.
but
Yeah.
I just got off the Carnival Sensation. I was dancing on there for 5 months. So
that's
Oh
great.
wow. So you were out at sea
Yes.
on a cruise ship?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, you're here because you went through a tremendous amount of pain. Why don't you kind of tell us your story? How did you come to be in pain?
I came to be in pain. I was a competitive weightlifter in high school.
Okay.
So lifting wrong with a lot of weight over my head was not a good combination, as well as going to dance classes just kind of made it worse.
Right.
What's a petite young lady of your stature putting up over her head? How much?
The most I put up was 130.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Still couldn't lift my chunky self up over your head, but you're getting there.
I struggle with my 5-year-old.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
can't
impressive.
imagine.
That's impressive.
Yes. So
What was the type of pain that you felt when you hurt yourself?
I would feel it would shoot down my right leg.
Okay.
And it was crippling at some points. Couldn't walk. I would go to dance class and come sit down and rest and get up to go get a drink or something, and I couldn't use my right leg, basically.
And now, was this one instance where it just went boom and all of a sudden you were in pain, or was it a progressive thing from all the weightlifting training that you were doing?
It was definitely progressive. It was significantly worse when I moved out of my house and moved to New York and was dancing full time, all the time.
How long a period were you suffering with that pain?
It was about 5 years that I suffered, and did physical therapy, did chiropractic care.
Right.
And how was the pain relief from those sort of traditional methods?
It was temporary. It worked. I was taking medicines, everything that I could do, icing it.
Right.
Temporary relief, but nothing ever.
Did they get you on painkillers like some of them do?
Of course, muscle relaxers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But things to mask the pain, not really get to the root of the problem.
Right. No, never.
Did you seek out any other surgeons, anything like that, before you came to Bonati?
Nope. He was the first one, and that's who I went with.
Now, how did you find the Bonati Spine Institute?
Well, living in Spring Hill my whole life, we had driven past that building, that glass building. I remember driving past it as a kid, and so when we finally drove up, and that was where I was going, I was like, "Oh, I know this," and I already felt comfortable just knowing that it was in my hometown.
Yeah. And what was that like for you when you made your way into that glass building that you had passed by so many times?
It was when I walked in, it was very welcoming, and it was very kind of felt like home already.
When you were in there, regardless of whether you think that something is going to be successful or not, sometimes you're a little bit anxious. Was that you kind of walking in and going, gosh, I think this is the right step, but ooh, what if?
Right. I went in hoping that my pain would be completely relieved.
Okay.
I really wanted it to work because it was kind of my last option.
And then you met with Dr. Bonati?
Right. I met with him, and I did all my tests the first day, and then he finally came in and examined all the x-rays and MRIs and basically told me exactly what was wrong and was 100%
Did you have
correct.
to tell him what it was?
No,
or
absolutely
did he sit you
not.
down and take a look at it himself, and using his expertise of all those years, take a look, and he knew without you telling him?
Yes, he knew exactly what happened without me even saying a word to him.
Do you heard what she said? Finally, he came in.
Yeah. This guy's always late. No, just kidding. No, Bonati's always on time.
Absolutely.
Once you have the evaluation and the day of surgery, did you find it interesting? Because didn't your mother actually watch your procedure?
Yes, she came in, which I loved her sitting there, just a little extra comfort. Yeah, it was great.
So, and I wish Mom was mic'd up. She's sitting in the corner. But I know a lot of people that we have on the program, they either opt to watch it or they don't want to.
Right.
Were you freaked out? Is that why you didn't watch it?
I don't think I wanted to see it. I just kind of wanted it to be over and done with.
Yeah.
And Mom, just by nodding your head, was it kind of cool to see that up on the screen?
Yeah,
she's nodding
her
yes.
head.
Yes.
I know in the times that I've watched it, I've been amazed because you see them. Your mother's in the back, but she probably saw the big screens that Dr. Bonati looks at as he's doing these very small movements, which is part of the procedure. And you lose your orientation being in there, and then you realize that he's doing these procedures through a tube that's probably smaller than this.
Yeah, it's like
And
it's the size of a
amazing.
dime. Yeah,
Yes,
and he's
yeah.
got his tools in there. He's working around. It's pretty incredible to watch.
So when they asked you to move around and kind of recreate your pain, what was that like for you?
Which, remember, set it up, Kimberly, of how it's done. It's conscious IV sedation. So you're not put completely under, you're not knocked out. You're able to communicate with the surgeon, in this case, Dr. Bonati.
And it's funny because we hear from patients all the time. Some have a very clear memory. Some are kind of like, It depends on how the anesthesia affects you, but the endo result was
Right. My first surgery, I don't remember speaking to him whatsoever.
Okay.
Apparently I did. Said my mom.
right.
Your mom was filming it for you too.
Right.
All the crazy things you were
I
saying.
don't remember
Yeah.
speaking to him the first
Right.
one. And the second one, I was a bit more awake. So
Okay.
I felt
Yeah.
that one. But yeah.
And did you feel immediate pain relief on the table, or was it in the recovery room, or not until later?
Probably in once I was in recovery room,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
felt immediately relieved. It was a great feeling to not have back pain anymore.
I can
Did you
imagine.
know why it was so important to have that interaction with the doctor so that he could target the root of where your pain was coming from?
Oh, absolutely. It's always important to be in great communication with your doctor, just to have, the confidence in him to make sure that he's going to do the best that he can on you, and that you completely trust him.
Right.
And how long before you were back to dancing and training and things like that after your procedure?
It was about 3-4 weeks. Was a full recovery. I was back in New York dancing. So
Wow.
yeah,
And how are you today? How you feeling?
great.
You just got off a 5-month
I
cruise
just got
ship,
5 off. Yeah,
dancing every night, so you must be feeling
Fantastic.
yeah.
pretty good. Well, obviously, Dr. Bonatti standing here in the flesh right in front of you. Anything you want to say to him?
Thank you for giving me my career back, basically.
Well, this only flesh this make me feel sick. But that, the beauty of this surgery is not only that the people can return to their normal activities, but seems to be that they can go to normal activities without limitation. And I'm extremely happy that you are in that situation.
Yes, so am I. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe when we're all done, you can take Doc out in the hall and show him a couple dance steps.
Absolutely.
Maybe a little pirouette action.
Some
something
partner.
like that. That'd be kinda cool. You down for that, Doc?
That would be great.
That's it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in.
We certainly do.
Oh,
And
thank you for having me.
keep us up to date. We'd love to see continued photos of you enjoying what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And send me a ticket when you go to Brockmore.
Gotcha.
Exactly. We want from our seats.
Yeah. All right, Kimberly. If people like Brittany are in pain, how do they get in touch?
Well, they can reach out to the Bonatti Spine Institute at 855-267-0483 or visit Bonatti.com. We'll help you regain your strength and get back in motion. Coming up after the break, we're going to have the president of Kangaroo, Stacy Zorn, on the line and, on the stream. So stay tuned. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonatti Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonatti spine procedures, Alfred Bonatti, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonatti and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
You're listening and watching American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, joined by our radio executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
It's a pleasure.
Senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
It's very pleasurable.
Yes.
Indeed.
And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonatti.
It's a lot of pleasure.
Tons of pleasure going on in this room right now.
It is. We are so geared up for our next guest. Her name is Stacy Zorn, president of Kangaroo, an electric car for the wheelchair bound. This woman is amazing.
Yeah.
She found a company that was having some issues, and she purchased that company.
And the coolest thing about this...
And she developed this product in 2 years.
And what people don't know with that sort of setup is that she's disabled herself.
Yes.
Stacy, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your disease. Now, I understand you're also an author, and you wrote a book about you have never walked. It's a congenital disease, I'm assuming. You've never been able to actually have the pleasure of walking or running. Tell us what your disability is.
Yeah, that's right. So I was born with a form of muscular dystrophy called spinal muscular atrophy.
Okay.
So I've been in a wheelchair my entire life.
Wow. And so that must have been really... I mean, I guess you didn't know anything else. So, what was it like to grow up and have friends that were playing ball and running around and you had to sit in a wheelchair? That must have been horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it actually, my parents, when I was born, I was diagnosed when I was 2 years old. So after that point, they were really nervous about that kind of thing. They were really concerned for what my future held. But it wasn't too bad. The kids were kind. I always had a lot of friends. You just kind of make do and accommodate. But what was really difficult, my hardest years were my teenage years, when all my friends were getting their driver's licenses and experiencing freedom for the first time.
Yes.
And I was stuck at home with mom and dad still.
And so you must have to become very reliant on others just to get anywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so how did you come across the Kangaroo? Because it was already a product that existed, correct?
They had started building prototypes. They had never actually gone to market before.
Okay.
But they had a website, and they had gone to trade shows, so they had some video and photos. And I was searching online because, I did end up getting my driver's license a few years delayed at the age of 19.
Okay.
And I drove a fully modified van, which, I mean, those vans are about $100,000. It's just incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, because they take a van that's built for someone who can walk, and they rip it apart and rebuild it. And so I had one of those for 4 months, and then I totaled it.
Oh, man.
It was devastating. I had just this little taste of freedom, and then it was just rapidly, gone.
And so you were bound. You were bound and determined to find something that could get you around.
Yeah, at that time I kind of shook it off to the technology's just not there yet. It's not safe enough for someone with my disability to drive. And I went on about my life, but 12 years passed, and I was frustrated still, and I thought surely there's got to be a solution to this problem by now. And that's when I found the Kangaroo on the internet.
And so once you found them, they were overseas, right? They were in financial trouble. You decided, hey, I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to move this company to the U.S. and make it here.
Well, kind of, sort of, because I didn't have money, so
most of us don't.
I couldn't buy it. I wanted to help bring it to market, and they needed money, so I told him, and of course that was his first question, well, do you have money? I said no, but I'm going to find it for you, so that's what I did. And we have since raised about $4.5 million in the United States and in Europe to further this project and bring it to market.
Right.
Hopefully soon.
That's incredible. Now, from the time that you kind of formed this alliance with them, and what was it, 2 years? I watched a video that showed how you actually get onto the vehicle.
Yeah, we haven't even
and
described what it
looks
is
like.
yet.
It almost looks like those new smart cars, but for one person. And there's a ramp that will come down to make it easy for the person that's wheelchair bound to load onto the vehicle. And and the steering wheel, I was surprised because it more or less resembles kind of a motorcycle handle.
Or like a scooter, like one of those rascals type thing.
At least that's the way it appeared to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the idea, is that it would be a moped for someone in a wheelchair.
Right.
So this is not a car that we're building, but it is a mode of transportation that is really meant for use in your community. You know, there's a lot of people all over the world that are wheelchairs that are stuck at home, you know, or like I was, completely dependent on other people. So you can never be spontaneous, you know, you miss out on a lot. And I think people kind of take for granted that transportation is just a huge part of having, you know, quality of life.
Yes.
And so without that, it's just it's very limiting.
But
this is a way just to get you out, you know, in your community, get to the grocery store, the movie theater, your friend's house, be able to get to work.
From the time that you got involved with Kangaroo, how many years did it take to come up with this this vehicle?
Well, they you know, they had a prototype when I got involved, and that was in 2010.
Okay.
And by 2011, we had moved the whole company to the United States, and we'd raised some money to do that. And then in 2012, we tried to actually produce them ourselves, which was a huge mistake. You know, a lot of companies kind of learned that the hard way, and we were one of them.
Okay.
But it's just it's an expensive endeavor, and you really need to have the funding to hire the talent that you need, people that have experience in manufacturing, and we didn't have that kind of funding, and so we built about 15 prototypes here in Pflugerville, but then had to pull the plug on that operation. And then, you know, and then the subsequent years, we've just been fundraising, trying to get enough money to actually get into production. We're outsourcing production to other companies.
That was going to be my next question, Stacy, is that I watched a video, and I'm not sure how old it was, where we are today. I know in the video that I saw for another television program on technology, they were saying that there's a really long waiting list. You yourself didn't even have one of these awesome things. Where are you at with production? We got about a minute left.
That's all still the status quo. We're really trying to get to production this year. So, you know, we've got a real good shot at it. So keep your fingers crossed for it.
How many miles a day can it go, and what's the top speed that it runs at?
The top speed is federally regulated depending in your state. It's either 35 miles per hour or 25 miles per hour.
Okay.
And you can go about 50 miles to a charge.
Wow, and how long does it take to charge?
8 hours.
And these
Plug it in overnight.
And these are street legal, huh?
Correct.
That's pretty cool.
Unbelievable.
All right. If people want more information, how do they get in touch? What's your website there, Stacy?
It's www.kenguru.com. And like you said, there's videos on there. You just drive in the vehicle in your wheelchair. You don't have to transfer. You drive from your chair. It's quick. It's easy. And it's a lot less expensive than a modified van.
And just again, it's spelled differently than kangaroo. It's KENGURU.com.
Like KenGuru.com. All right, Stacy Zorn, president of KenGuru.com Incorporated, I should say. Appreciate you joining us on American Medicine today. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You take care.
Have a great day.
Amazing technology
Very cool
this lady
stuff.
came up with. If you or someone you know is suffering with headaches, neck, back, leg pain, RSD, they can reach out to Bonati at 855-267-0483 or visit Bonati.com. Coming up after the break, we're going to speak with Dr. Jack Cassell, Florida urologist who doesn't accept Obamacare and received a lot of flack for that. Stay tuned. We'll have that after the break. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Thanks for listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, joined by our radio executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
Pleasure to be here.
We have Jeff Wagstaff, our senior fellow.
I'm feeling very senior today.
I don't know why that would be, but okay.
And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonati of the esteemed Bonati Spine Institute.
I am feeling very junior today.
Very junior.
He's the junior fellow. Get out of here. You're the rock star in this room, Doc.
Well, we have an exciting doctor joining us, Dr. Jack Cassell, a Florida urologist who doesn't accept Obamacare. And this gentleman has made the rounds on different programs, and he's received a lot of flack for this. But I, for one, you know, you got to tell it like it is, Dr. Cassell. And you've been very outspoken and an opponent of Obamacare. And you actually posted a sign in your office, and I think it's genius. So why don't you go ahead and elaborate on that for our listeners?
Well, thanks a lot for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Obamacare was signed into law at the end of April in 2010. And I put this actually at the end of March, I guess. And about 2 weeks later, I decided to put a sign on my door saying, if you voted for Obama, seek urologic care elsewhere. Your health care changes today, not in 4 years.
Right.
And people were walking past it, and all of a sudden, I got a film crew come by and asking me, you know, they were outraged that I would be putting a sign like that up. They considered it racist. And
of course it's
because
racist.
You disagree with them, right? Suddenly.
And my congressman was this guy, Alan Grayson. I don't know if you remember him. I mean, he's the guy who said Republicans want you to die quickly. And he's the guy who, he kind of spearheaded. He tried to get me, you know, thrown out of, lose my license. And I mean, he was horrible. And this is the guy who's representing me in Congress, trying to destroy me. It was just amazing. But it actually turned out to be pretty successful. My new patient referrals and appointments went up about 300%. for about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. It's funny how that happens. We see about these businesses a lot where they say, no children are allowed in here. This is an adults-only restaurant, and people are outraged, but it makes the headlines, and then their business increases. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still a relatively free country, right?
Mm-hmm. It should be.
As it turns out, it was analyzed by all the talking heads on TV, and it was determined that I was kind of exercising my First Amendment rights.
Dr. Cassell, I want to ask you this. Are you a married guy?
Am I married?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah.
Did your wife try to talk you out of posting that sign? Because it seems like something a wife would do.
It was up. The problem was that my wife had just begun her political career. She was running for county commission.
Okay.
And, when she opened up the newspaper on the Orlando Sentinel and saw my picture that said, Dr. Cassell wants you to, go elsewhere for your urologic care. Mm-hmm. She kind of felt that I might have been destroying her political career before it started. So yeah, it was kind of touchy. I could have destroyed my marriage.
But you know what? What's amazing to me is as soon as somebody stands up against this darn Obamacare, they immediately, you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're un-American, all these things. And, kudos to you for having the guts to do it.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. It was just, you remember the outrageous backdoor way they did this? It was like Mary Landrieu with the Louisiana Purchase, and that John Nelson guy from Nebraska they had the corn huskers payoff thing, and they got Arlen Specter to do a 180 and become a Republican. They did everything to get 60 votes in the Senate, and then, when they finally lost, was it Scott Brown, I guess, in Massachusetts, they lost Kennedy's seat. They used a reconciliation process to I guess, just nail it. And they did everything they could to do this partisan law. And as far as I'm concerned right now, guys, it's the gift that keeps on giving. The longer it's there, the more poison their Democrat well is going to get. And I think if I were a Democrat in Congress, I would be trying my hardest to try to get it repealed, because that's going to destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why don't you think more physicians are opposed, or at least a lot of the ones that we talk to, more vocal about it? We talk to tons of physicians on this show who are against it but don't want to come out on the record. So forthright, like Dr. Bonatti does, and like you are, putting up signs and getting media attention. Why don't you think more physicians take this more outspoken approach?
I think they're afraid. They're afraid of losing business. They're afraid of, I don't know. They're kind of wusses. They really are.
Good name.
Dr. Cassell, I'm curious. You said that all this came to light when your wife was beginning her political career. How did that first election go? Did this affect?
No, she did good. It was like she won by a 2-1 majority, and she just got reelected again this November. 70% of the vote. Mm-hmm. So, and she makes me look like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I mean, she's like so concerned. She's good.
For folks who are listening, I spent the first 15 years of my career with this company in Orlando, so I read the Orlando Slantinel on a daily basis and was very familiar. I was curious when you said a local television crew or a camera crew came to approach you. What was the organization?
Well, it was all of them. It was CNN. It was basically local. It was CNN and My Fox Orlando, and then I did Neil Cavuto one afternoon, and then right after Cavuto, they wanted me to do Anderson Cooper, which I had never watched Anderson Cooper. I didn't know what an idiot he was, and it was just a horrible experience. I was, whereas Cavuto was like a very friendly, nice interview. This guy, Anderson Cooper, tried to make me look like an idiot, and it was unnerving. He was really mean. But I did a bunch of stuff like that, and over the years I've been doing the Tea Party, meetings, and it's been really, really great. I mean, there's an incredible amount of following in the Tea Party still. I know they've tried to demagogue and ruin the brand. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what the left does. They try to destroy whatever kind of forces they determine to be their enemy. But the Tea Party is the thing that really scares them, because it's the common denominator of like small government, constitution, and low taxes. Mm-hmm. There's no social issues. and they couldn't. They really, that scared them because they do everything they can to divide us, rich versus poor, black against white. So the Tea Party, they had to destroy.
Yes.
And it's still pretty strong, I think.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Doc isn't like chiming in going, you're right, because these are all points he makes.
But Jack, you fascinate me, man, because the real truth, this is the thing that should be done all the time. Not only physicians need to react to this thing, and every one of us will follow your direction. This stupid type of Obamacare will drop to the knees in a month. So the problem is, I agree with you. We have a very poor leadership in medicine. We are so busy and so constantly involved in taking care of patients and solving problems for the patients that practically that is our weak Achilles area, where the Achilles heel that we have is dangerous because we don't have the time that we need, and at the same time we cannot get people involved to use our ideas. But we need to do it through radio. We need to do it through actions like yours, and start to get the physicians to react. The physicians are practically the move for the healthcare. We can control insurance. We can control the politics. We can control the insurance and politics of the healthcare without any major problem if everyone will be committed. And we will have a right leadership. The American Medical Association is trash, man.
No, I'm with you. I agree 100% with what you said. And, we can't, they've taken us out of the free market, so, all our vendors, everybody that we send checks to every month, they're in the free market. They can adjust their prices, however. Our reimbursements, I'm sure, you agree. You're probably like me. I make about 50% of what I did 10 years ago. We can't unionize. For whatever reason, everybody else can, but we can't unionize.
But Jack, we can do something different. We can create our own insurance. We can go ahead and go to the market and say to the physicians, look, we are going to pay a time. We will do something. Every one of us should participate, and every patient who comes to our practice, we should go and refer to that insurance that's going to be our insurance at the end of the year. We pay everything that needs to be paid and split the thing between the physicians. I'm telling you, the only thing that I want is they pay my fees. My fees went from 100% to 30% in a matter of 2 or 3 years, what is totally outrageous. And nobody reacts. Everybody is continue squeezing and doing a bad work for medicine and for the patients.
Yeah, well, we're the face of medicine. We're the bad guys all the time. And I think, Doc, one of the thing that bothers me the most is why does it cost $10,000 a day to be in a hospital? Does it really cost that much?
No.
I mean, you can't afford to. The government has made it so you can't afford to do anything. You can't go to college without their help. You can't get sick without insurance. I mean, I think when I had my tonsils out in the 50s, I think the hospital bill was $120.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So we got to figure out. This American Hospital Association has got to be kind of made impotent at this point because they're totally out of control.
Well, one of the problems that we have is the fact that we create something and then we rely in management to do the things, manage and take the things from us, and then suddenly we don't have the time to really supervise. We should create systems that stay in medicine. For example. You cannot be an administrator of the hospital unless you're a doctor. If you're not a doctor, you cannot administer a hospital because it's not the heart of medicine there. It's not the protection for the patients there. It's not the ethic of medicine there. It's the ethics for how green is the pocket. And so the patients suffer and the doctors suffer and the results are bad. The same thing when you're talking about hospital situation. The same thing when you're talking about insurance. We create the insurance. But then later on, now they are squeezing us. Well, we need to create a system that these people lose their business. We need to make these people lose their business. And that is the situation. We need to get together and create that type of an activity. And to do that, We need to gather the physicians to be responsible to medicine and patients, and that's what we need to.
Yep.
The other thing that comes to mind, I know you're wanting to wrap up,
we're
Ethan,
out of time.
but the other thing that comes to mind is when you said they were all against you for putting up your signs and you were going to create a problem for all these patients. Wasn't it the Democrats and Obamacare that created the death panels? Just food for thought.
Absolutely. That's the essence of Obamacare, is to defund Medicare. And because the old people have no value in the socialist system. I mean, they just basically...
They only paid into that system.
Excuse me?
They only paid into the system their whole lives. So, of course, you have no use for them now.
But you're not supposed to get that money back. That's a slush fund for socialism. You know, it's really... They are like, seriously, the most corrupt system that there could possibly be is these leftists. I mean, it's all deceit, and, you know, you have these useful idiots that... you know, I wrote a urology book, which I'm reissuing. I just wanted to mention that before we wrap it up. And I think maybe Mark Levin might get a little angry at me, but I entitled it "Liberty in Urology: A Conservative Urologic Manifesto."
Very nice.
And I go through urology, but I also do interesting conservative items. And what I do is I'll first do what the useful idiots' take is on, say, global warming, and then I'll have what the ruling class's actual intent is for them to be trying to implement it. And I do that before every urologic chapter, as I do like a conservative deal and then the other. So it's going to be the pissed off doc writing it.
Dr. Jack Castle, Mount Dora, Florida urologist. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thank
you. Well, you heard it again, echoed by other doctors that were not liking this whole Affordable Health Care Act. But on a different note, you are listening to American Medicine Today. If you are suffering with headaches, back, neck, or sciatic pain, reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute at Bonati.com. Coming up, we're going to hear what's new in American Medicine Today. Stay tuned. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by our radio executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
In the house.
We have our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Present and accounted for.
Awesome. And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Only accountable.
Well, it's that time to find out.
Let's look at what's new in medicine today, featuring Alfred Bonati, MD.
All you, Doc.
Go ahead, Doc.
Like everything that the political system creates, seems to be that it's in shambles and creates a false impression, false information, false results, and you know what the real problem is? That these people are never accountable.
Right.
So if the political system will be accountable, or politicians will be accountable what they offer and what they do, and if they don't or they mishandle something, will go to jail, the things will change.
Right.
But they don't. The CBO give information, false information about the Obamacare, and cooperate with Obama to pass this law with this totally information that is false. And now they are start to correct. And one of the problems that happens is that you need to understand that the vast majority of the people that they got involved on Obamacare, when they were bragging about these 6 or 7 million, that they, 75% of that people is people that are being forced out of their employer insurance.
Correct.
So when they were in the streets, they didn't know what to do. They jump on something like this. The 75% of the people that they brag about, they already had insurance. But they ruined for these people to have a good insurance because now they have a crap insurance, an unstable insurance, an insurance that we don't even know if it's going to last or not because the deficit is so enormous. They're robbing Medicare to try to put money on Medicaid. And I mean, the whole thing's shambles. It's typical governmental trash. Well, the other thing that happens is in a year from now, this year, in 2015, we are going to lose 2 million people that they are going to come out from the force of the insurance because the modifications of the insurance, they need to be removed. We have 2 million people that they are going to lose their insurance when before they have a comfortable insurance in their workplace. In 16, they're going to be 7 million. In the 18, they're going to be 9 million. The 20 is going to be 10 million. So I'm telling, not only this
that's if it's still around by then. It hasn't been repealed.
Well, the problem is, it's a political trash. It's not going to be repealed unless the people in the country stands up against the politicians and say, you don't do it, you are out.
True.
Okay, or they start to call these politicians and recall them and tell them, look, you are not doing your job. You are coming back and demand new votes. We need to create the change in that.
You know, it's amazing to me because you mentioned the CBO as being instrumental in Obamacare, but they were the ones that came out with these scathing reports against it.
Not in the beginning. In the beginning, they support that. They say that there's going to be 60% of the
non-elderly.
No, 60% of the non-insured people will be insured by this program. I think now they come and they say, no, it's not going to be that. It's going to be less than 30%. So they're going to be around. We create all this mess because we have 30 million people that were uninsured. Well, no, still we have 30 million people that they are uninsured, and we are adding 10 million people now that they have insurance before, that they are going to be now uninsured, or they are going to be with a very poor insurance.
And it's costing us $2 trillion.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the
so
other
there's
thing.
nothing affordable about this Affordable Health Care Act.
Exactly.
But Dr. Bonatti, to clarify, what is it that's going to cause people to lose their insurance over, like that you just quoted, over these next few years? What's going to push them out of their existing plans?
It's very simple. If you go to a working company that has few individuals, and they need to pay not only the insurance that is going to be elevated by the insurance companies,
right,
and at the same time all the different types of taxes that they need to pay around the system, it's not affordable. So these people are going to go, I cannot pay this. So go to the exchange. I will prefer to pay the penalties because it's cheaper.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, very interestingly enough, next week we're going to speak with a woman that I found.
Yes.
She in a year's time lost her insurance 3 different times. She was dropped by her health insurance due to Obamacare.
Right.
And it's just a pretty crazy story. And I think a lot of people are probably going through this. She just went to the media with it. So, we'll talk to her next week.
I guess it's 3 times you're out, but we'll find out more next week.
But yeah, it's insane what they got going on here, Doc.
Well, I still believe that all these things is because the way that they get away with irresponsibility. Okay, Nancy Pelosi goes, well, we need to sign this thing and put the thing in law. Then we will learn what is wrong. I cannot believe that can happen, and the country took it. Okay, and I understand that we're very civilized. We don't cut heads or burn people. But sometimes I think we need to burn some people and cut some heads, so these people go to jail, and then they have a situation where, in the figurative sense of the wording,
correct.
Okay, these individuals, they need to be punished by the irresponsible behavior. I mean, when you see somebody like Jonathan Gruber who goes and say, "Oh, we lie," but the American voter is so stupid that we can pass the law and they're not going to realize. That is so insulting. And the guy is still in the university, still practicing, and still being practically an individual who is making money with his profession.
I just wonder how long it takes to find out that once we know somebody's lying, how long it takes to get them out of power.
Well,
that's what I want to know.
It's already been, 6 years?
Yeah, and
We're
we have
coming
a
up to the
countdown,
end.
700 and some days left?
Something like that.
And counting.
And just like that, we're up against the
Why we need to be counting? Why? I don't understand why we cannot impeach this guy. Because not only politically is bad.
We can discuss that next time. We're out of time, but you are listening to American Medicine Today. If you want to actively participate in life, regain your strength and motion, contact Bonatti.com, 855-267-0483. Check us out on Bloomberg, locally on ABC, WFTS, Channel 28 here in Tampa. And we'll see you next week.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.